What's up, guys? McIntyre here. I felt like uploading another Hero League gameplay video, and a lot of people have been asking about Greymane. This is also sort of a follow-up video to my previous first-hand experience with Greymane. If you guys watched that video, I hated this character when he first came out. I think a lot of it had to do with my expectations for him as a character and what I wanted him to be able to do, which at the time was be, a new thrall, a sustaining melee assassin. But I quickly learned that Greymane is in fact not a sustaining melee assassin and is more of a ranged assassin. So after a lot of practice and putting in a lot of time, I feel like I've sort of gotten a good grasp of him, and I want to go over this gameplay to show that grasp off. A good comparison to what Greymane really is for any of you League of Legends players out there: if you ever played League and you use the character Jace, he essentially has the same sort of thing going on, where he has a range form that can shoot a long range poke, and a melee form that deals more damage but puts him in melee. So Greymane is Greymane's essentially that. You shouldn't just always be range form. When you can safely poke in your Worgen form, you should go Worgen and hit them in that form, considering it deals more damage. But for the most part, when you're pushing and laning, you are in your human form. You'll see a lot of the time, I look to just push waves. I think I was telling the Stitches to tap. He had full stacks and was just looked like he was just gonna let himself die. But yeah, so you'll see a lot of the time, like when I find somebody out of position like this, it's best to go Worgen form. But if I'm poking and I don't need to full engage and I can't full engage, then I will stay away from going Worgen form. Again, here I'm probably gonna throw a cocktail and then go Worgen. Very, very close. If Kinma had bit the Lunar, I think we would have killed her there. He, for whatever reason, came out of wolf form. I think he thought that my wolf form was him. But you'll see a lot of the time I'm gonna spin, my Q to push waves, or to push the enemy, or poke the enemy, especially after 7. My preferred talent so far, I'll put the build below, but it's pretty much full cocktail build, even the level 1 cocktail talent. And then at 7, I'll take the explosion always talent. This just allows for safer push, safer poke. And I think with the range talent, I like it because in the late game when you're grenading the enemy team, you tend to run out of mana quickly. It's not so important. Okay, we just invaded the Easies really quick. That was nice. They got afraid of us, even though we are only theirs too. But so in the late game, like right now in the early game, the mana issues aren't too important because I'm getting globes, I can back, I can tap. But in the late game, when you're playing up on their keep or something and you can't back the tap, then it becomes an issue, the mana. So that's why I tank that level 1 talent. Pretty much gets rid of all of the mana issues you have on this character. You'll see a lot of the time too. Let me pause here. So when I get engaged on his Greymane, I normally will just Worgen to the person and then Q and try to run away. And the reason for this is you eventually will be able to get your E talent, which is your tumble. In this case, I even get heals, but you want to essentially try to live until you can E out. And I got a few heals, so I was able to do that. But if I stayed in human and tried to trade there, then it's very likely that even with those heals, it wouldn't have been enough to get me out without that tumble. So a lot of the times that I see a lot of Greymanes don't do this. When you get engaged on, and you'll see it as this game continues to go on, when I get engaged on and feel at risk, I'll go into Worgen form just to give myself an out and an ability to escape a team fight. I mean, you can also use your Q to juke. I want to say, several skills here by using that. I don't know what this guy was doing. This Kane guy outplays him anyways. I almost didn't even need to rotate, but I'm glad I did. So I pick up a pretty quick kill. It looks like Kenma gets killed bot. Not the end of the world. If I can push out mid and they lose this soak, that would be really good. Looks like Glau's coming up though. But this does open up me ganking bottom. I was actually afraid here. I probably could have been more aggressive on Lunara, just considering it was only Lunara Bright. But so Ken announces that he's gonna get knights, and this is kind of an awkward spot for my team. So we kill Lunara, and you would assume that KO would fly down. But he tries to hold mid. I back, which was probably a bad idea. So it leaves mid open, and then their team's just going to kind of come in here and take this. A lot of it had to do with Ken doing hards and me backing. I had to wait until Ken got the hard camp to back there. So that was, I would say, more on me. Obviously, my teammates could have done something differently. But I could have. What's most important with Hero League is like, what could you have done differently? So, in this case, I threw that cocktail thinking that this guy would instantly blink, but he didn't. And I was gonna go to try to one-shot him. One good thing about Greymane, especially the current patch with Li Ming, is like he does a really good job of just killing Li Ming. So if you can ever get your hands on her, then you can just kind of kill her outright. So I just realized we haven't been able to see the damage numbers, so I'll switch over to that now. But a lot of the time it looks like my cocktails aren't hitting them when they are. And this, you'll be able to see that now that I put the numbers on. So that's really all you do on this character, is just throw your Q off cooldown. Just to poke the wave, to poke the enemy. And then you can kind of Worgen form and then Q the wave once, and it just pushes it. So I clear mid. I'm hoping the other team doesn't get to soak this. And because we have so much open space here, we pick up the easy camp super quick. This is going to pressure bot. Now we want to push out bot, and I'll probably re-go back mid. If you've noticed by now, I mean, a lot of this game has been spent with me being middle. This is where me and Ken, because we get bottom easies, we want to pressure top. This is a really quick Brightwing boop. But yeah, so since we have the easiest bottom, we're gonna pressure top. That's the idea here. They come up to team fight us. As you can see, I haven't gone Worgen yet. I'm just shooting Clow like a ranged assassin. Very close to getting an execution there. But I do have the ability to tumble right out, so a lot of the time, I think that Bright gave the Lunar like a last second heal as I went to execute. Sometimes like supports will do that, and it's difficult to get around it, but it's better that you force that aggression as Greymane rather than, you'll hit it, I would say 60% of the time, right? And if you don't, then you can just back up. Again, I'm not going Worgen here, I'm just shooting. This guy's just getting hella chunked. I try to keep my passive, my W up for move speed. So now DK's tanking. We need to play up. I think this Tyrael just dies here. Yeah, I end up ulting him. Oh, so close. It's almost a Kobe grenade. But so we'll go back to that really quick, just to show you like how fast the sequencing on Greymane can really be. So you'll see Tyrael gets really chunked. And I decide that I can go for the throw and kill him, which I do, but almost immediately after I kill him, I go for the throw on the Lunara. Okay, so there's not a lot of hesitation here. So again, I think we should see the icon. Yeah, so we saw a little paw there, which means that if I go for the throw, it will kill. Okay, so I'm going for the throw. He dies immediately. I see Lunara, so I'm going to go for the throw her. Punch, Q. Then I tumble. I Q'd down, but it hit her still. But I Q'd down to get some momentum running away from them. And then I go for the Kobe here. Which, if she had taken, I think, like maybe 5 more damage. I don't know what her health's at, but that's pretty low. I mean, we're talking, she's got to have 3 health. There's no way for me to see that, but, I mean, yeah. So, almost a really nice double kill. But, one thing to note from that team fight is, I'm in Worgen, I'm doing my cooldowns, but then I'm out of Worgen, and, I'm grenading and shooting and ranging again. This is one of the few times that I use Inner Beast. I don't like using Inner Beast a lot because it uses a lot of mana. But I'm glad I used it here because it gave me move speed to get away from them. So 2 reasons. I wanted the move speed to run if they showed up, and I also wanted to push. Like if we were uncontested and we pushed there, I would have gotten a lot of value. So you see them at easies. My team's pressuring that. So I just look to push out bot so they have to worry about this lane, and we can maybe pressure in somewhere else. There's like no reason for us to fight here. If you haven't already noticed, like when I play Hero League, a lot of the time, like, and even when I play in pro matches, like soaking is everything, and a lot of players in Hero League miss that concept. Team fights are great and all, but like what me and Ken are doing right now is what gets you ahead. So if these creeps all get eaten up by this tower, then their team gets behind an XP. This is really good. So again, I'm gonna go instant Worgen. I know that we're in trouble, and I have my Inner Beast up, which is my move speed. So I need to play pretty evasive here. I end up getting out. I think Ken actually gets out as well. Yeah, so Ken gets out, and they take a ton of damage from my grenade. And I actually use my go for the throat to jump through their team to the Brightwing and start running down. So I see my team coming up, so I need to go down instead of to the left because I've gotten entombed. So I go for the throat out into their team to run down through the bile. And now I realize that, the coast is clear. Stitches is doing a good amount of damage. I hit a pretty good grenade. And now we're going to look here to either clean up or try to fight. Again, I'm getting damaged. I go Worgen. I make sure to get one more auto on Glau to keep my move speed up to get away from him. And then, now that I've gotten away, I throw Q back to break mounts. And I think I'm going to mount here to get out. Yeah, so A little quick thinking. Obviously, this character doesn't have a ton of mobility, but if you sequence your stuff correctly, you can get out of pretty sticky situations. In that case, you know, I had gotten entombed and I had 5 people coming after me. Rhaegar went down, but Rhaegar wasn't even the one that got entombed, and I don't think that he could have gotten away, but he might have been able to, even so. So again, a lot of the time, I think, and even me, I used to, in the day, like probably 2 weeks ago, when I got pressured as Greymane, I would stay human. But when you feel like you're like a fight's about to happen, just go Worgen and just be ready to run. So here I'm trying to keep my W up on the wave. I see Glau, so I tumble down. We don't have Rhaegar here, so we shouldn't really be fighting. But they take a ton of damage. Glau gets a nice E. So his E there reduced the damage that I dealt, which kept me from executing him, but I still follow him up. I mean, once you get Inner Beast going and you're chasing after them, they have a hard time getting away from you because of your move speed. So you'll see here, I'm just dodging the mage's stuff. I think I end up killing... Oh, that's right. I remember that. So if you guys saw it, I went to throw the Q to hit both of them, and it actually went through. Just to show you the hitbox of the skill. I'm gonna run it back so you can see that whole sequencing of the fight and my positioning. But I thought it was so funny. I go for the double kill and end up killing neither of them because I got greedy on where I threw my Q. So yeah, so we'll go back to the beginning. Again, we're poking. Go back just a little bit more. So we don't have Rhaegar, and Rhaegar starts rotating, and this is about the time that my team starts poking the enemy team. And we get a good hook on, we're going to get a good hook on Glau. So again, here I'm just chunking. See Glau, don't want to get entombed, so I tumble. Just going to use my cocktail to poke him. Alright, so here, so the fight starts. Glau engages. We get a hook on this, on Lunara, on this player, and both my Falstad and my Tyrande immediately go on him, and he gets annihilated. The wizard starts to hit KO, but he gust. So right now, if I ult, I kill Glau, right? So I'm gonna ult, but he E's immediately, which gives him hardened bones. So he goes to like no health, right? Nice Tyrell Sank. As you can see, still chasing. I know that I can clean up here. So this is where I'm going to activate my Inner Beast and start going in. One thing to remember there too is I Inner Beast when I grenade. I wait to Inner Beast first because of the 16 talent, which deals a ton of damage here to Glau and kills him. But so now my Inner Beast is up, and I want to manage this, because if I manage this, then they can't get away from me. And then here comes the legendary cocktail. Weaving. Somehow weaves through both of those characters, just to give you a good idea of how small this hitbox is. I mean, if I hover it, if we can hover it without... Yeah, you guys can see the line that I just threw it through. So it's like one of the harder skill shots to hit. I probably should have waited until they got to the wall, but yeah, I thought that was funny. So now we'll speed it up a little bit. Just getting out. I think we get out easies. I go for DK. I threw a Q back there just to see if anybody was coming, just for vision purposes. So now I think we just take DK to... At first I wanted to push mid, and then Ken said we should push bot. which made no sense to me, and looking at it now, it still makes no sense to me, but YOLO. I charged Glau knowing that he'll E, but now he doesn't have E up, which is like really bad for Leo, and then randomly the arterial just gets picked somehow. Kinmo wants the Stitches to tank so he can heal him. Stitches takes a ton of damage. Good Ancestral. We get our keep. We get what we wanted. I'm pinging a ton, as you can see, to retreat. Too many times people overstay after they've gotten keep. You get keep on DK. We do it. We've lost tournament games doing it. Get the DK, get a keep, get another DK, win the game. At this point, this game is ours to lose. I just go in and just one-shot that mage. I think we get out. This is probably a little gutsy on my end. Again, we're 3 levels up, so kills on the other team don't do anything for us. This is like the perfect. This is the perfect level advantage you want in Heroes of the Storm. You just want 3 levels. Just make sure to soak, and you just win every objective. You should beat the other person to talent tiers. So now we want to get top 4 for vision purposes, and by that I mean like, see, because they don't have bot for it, these minions play up here, and we can see that Tyrael's there, right? But our minions can't play up here because they have the top 4. They actually engage on us. I think I killed Glorong. I might even kill Bright. Okay, Bright hits like the most MLG poly on me. Oh, really good owl and a nice grenade there to kill her. I probably would have been really upset if we hadn't have killed her there, because I was frustrated after that my go for the throat, mid animation got polyed. I don't think it goes on cooldown though. Alright, it even goes on cooldown, so that feels real bad. So I don't really agree with myself Inner Beasting there. Inner Beast is like too important of a cooldown. Nice jukes by KO. So now I know they have no cooldowns. Really good hook. I just don't see this guy getting away. Nice stun from Tronda, the double blink talent. Yep, now I hit Inner Beast. Should be able to catch up to him with move speed. I think I juke Klaus, yeah. See, again, that's the movement speed. He misses everything on me. I was also, moving pretty oddly, so. But I knew if I could dodge all that stuff, then there was no way I was gonna die. If he just auto-attacked me, the game, yeah, it's pretty much a wrap now. We got DK. I think a mix between Falstad and being 3 levels up. Again, this is your perfect, talent. So now DK can pretty much AFK core. Kinma almost dies. I kill like 3 people. And that's a wrap, so. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. I want to play a lot more Greymane. Maybe I'll get to play him in tournaments, maybe not. I've practiced him a lot, so I hope that he comes into the meta to the point that I can play him in tournaments. He is an incredibly fun character once you start to realize how he functions. And a lot of the time, I think with this character, he's so interesting that a lot of people have a hard time understanding him. So that's what's causing a lot of issues with him and his gameplay and things like that. So if you guys have any further questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Obviously, you can always swing by my Twitch. It's McIntyre lol, or shoot me a message on Twitter at McIntyre Hods. All that stuff will be below in the description. I appreciate you guys' support, and I look forward to playing in this upcoming tournaments to this year. So thank you guys again. Cheers to you all, and I'll see you soon. All right, goodbye, guys.